King James I of England was deeply paranoid about witches. He believed they were real, powerful, and actively working against them. And this led to the North Berwick witch trials in, I think it was 1590, where he personally oversaw the witch trials, interrogated suspected witches, and over 70 people, 70 were accused of witchcraft that were tortured and unalived by this man. And from that, he wrote one of the most influential books that there is on witchcraft in history. Demonology was in 1597, and it's basically King James's witch hunting manual. He argued that witches were real and that they worked for the devil himself. This is where that connection comes in. Now, he wrote this before he ever wrote the King James version of the Bible and commissioned to have that written. He also linked divination, mediumship, and any type of spiritual work to actually being demonic in this book. This led justification for the witch hunts that happened all over England, including the Salem witch trials. Well, and all over Scotland as well, because it started in Scotland, but led all the way over to the American colony. He didn't just hunt witches. His version of the Bible intentionally condemned witches as well. He actually changed the meaning of words. Oh, this guy. Big balls. So one example is Exodus 22:18, where it said, "Thou shalt not suffer a," I'm going to say this word wrong, kashap to live. And he changed it to a witch to live. Now, this original word meant sorcerer, and it specifically means those that do harmful magic. But it didn't mean witch in the broad sense of the term as it does now. Another example is Galatians 5:20, which is basically where the original Greek was like pharmakia or something, which meant basically sorcery involving potions, drugs, and even poisoning. But, talking about our pharmacies, like, the healthcare industry, and that's some high witchcraft for real now. But it has absolutely nothing to do with spirituality, herbalism, divination. It's all about harmful manipulation through substances themselves. Sounds like our entire food industry. But the King James Version made it seem like any magical practices from there out were condemned. This led to more witch trials and executions of thousands of women, and the demonization of folk practices, including midwifery and so much more, herbalism, all sorts of stuff. And King James was absolutely obsessed with control over his kingdom, over his safety, over his people's beliefs. He wanted utter control over their beliefs themselves. And ironically, at the end of his life, King James himself began to doubt what he did and actually started to believe that many of his accused witches were actually completely innocent victims. The way witch has been translated in the King James Bible shapes how Christians view Christianity for centuries and have continued to persecute and demonize, exactly like what is happening to me currently. The historical connections between persecution, between control, and between religion is something we're still untangling with today. We're literally still dealing with what happened at this time.